Signore e signori,
Dichiaro aperta la celebrazione Giochi Olimpici Invernali.
Si sta avvicinando allo stadio.
Forza, forza! Vai, 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 vai! Dal record della pista! Record della pista! Primo!
Buongiorno and welcome to Keep the Flame Alive's Day Zero coverage of the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympic Games. I am your host, Jill Jaracz, coming to you from Schockflustan House, joined as always by my lovely co-host, Alison Brown. Alison, ciao, como stai?
I don't know how you say tired in Italian.
And we've only just begun.
It's been a long day.
It has been a very long day. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. And I got home from the opening ceremony approximately 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, just about.
Oy, that was a show. That was a commute home too.
I think your commute home was almost as long as that show, and that is saying something.
Felt like it, that's for sure. All right, we are going to get to that opening ceremonies as quickly as possible. But first, what officiating or volunteer job would you like to do?
I'm going to be a purple coffee maker.
Purple coffee maker.
So in the opening ceremonies, there was that section where everybody was different colored things.
Oh, right.
And one of them was a little espresso pot.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I want to be the purple one.
I pulled out my binoculars and forgot my binoculars, so there was only so much I could see. I would still like to be, actually, a plaque woman, first choice.
Well, you would have gotten a fabulous puffer outfit.
Oh my gosh, we'll get to that too. Or one of the traffic moving volunteers. They were a lot of fun.
They were really moving them along because at one point the Canadians stopped to take a picture and the poor volunteer almost had a meltdown. Just jumping in there saying, "Oh my goodness, you cannot stop. The Parade of Nations must continue at all times. No stoppage."
Oh, boy. Before we get to today's results, we would like to say thank you to all of our patrons and donors who help keep our flame alive. It does take money to get us to Italy. It also takes money to produce the show every week for the entire year. So we appreciate your financial support. If you are enjoying the show so far, please consider giving back. We are at flamealivepod.com/support. There are several different ways. You could be a one-off donor. You could be an ongoing donor through Patreon. Patreon patrons get extra bonuses like photos and videos and sometimes audio. So flamealivepod.com/support. Thank you so much for keeping our flame alive. Let's do, there was competition this morning. So let's get some results done really quick. Curling, lots more mixed doubles curling going on today. So after 2 more sessions of round robin play, Great Britain and U.S. are the only undefeated teams so far. Great Britain is 5-0, U.S. is 4-0, Canada is 3-1, as is Italy. The Swiss are 2-2, Sweden is 2-3, Estonia and Norway are 1-3, and Czechia and Korea are winless so far. Tough times for them.
Yeah, we're still concerned about Norway.
Yeah, that's a tough one too. That's a surprising one, but
there's a lot more play.
Yes, and you're Italian.
And my Italian hunka burnin' love is just burning up the ice, let's just say.
Figure skating started the team event today, so they did the ice dance rhythm dance, the pairs short, and the women's short program today.
Yeah, and the Japanese won 2 of those, but are not in first place.
No.
The U.S. is in first place in the standings, and Japan is only 2 points behind, and Italy 2 points behind them. So we've still got a lot more pieces to go through on this competition.
Exactly. So Madison Chalk and Evan Bates from the U.S. won the ice dance rhythm dance section. Riko Inriuchi from Japan won the pairs. And Kaori Sakamoto won the women's short, and Alyssa Liu from the U.S. got second. So this is why the U.S. gets edged up a little bit more. And we were able to get there for the women's part. We had an interview to do this morning and then hustled down to the ice skating arena, which is a huge-looking building on the outside, nice-sized arena on the inside for figure skating.
It is a little Soviet.
It is a little brutalist, yeah.
You know, you come in and there's nothing around it when you see it from the train station. It's just this arena in seemingly the middle of nowhere. But the other side of the road, when we came back, we saw that there's a big shopping center close by there. So it wasn't quite so, we put arena in field, you go skate. You know, it wasn't quite so.
And the walk from the train to the arena, not as bad as the hockey and speed skating is, I think.
I would agree.
You know, and it could be the same, but I think when you see that you have to cross over a highway, they have a bridge over a highway you go over, and we have to go around and up some rickety stairs to get to the media entrance.
Rickety stair count 2.
Right. It's infinity, really. We did see Jackie Wong hard at work.
Yes, didn't want to interrupt his flow.
So, but the skating was lovely.
The arena is really, really nice. It's not bigger than women's hockey, which is good, but it's a very personal feeling arena. I don't know. The boards aren't particularly high. It's not particularly cluttered. So we had a great line of sight. I don't think there is a bad line of sight in that arena, which is, you know, what you want if you're going to dish out the big bucks to go see figure skating at the Olympics.
And everybody we saw, we came in right when the first skater was finishing up her program, but the other 9 that we saw, all clean. It was so nice. Everybody was doing so well. I did get a little misty-eyed.
You did not.
On Kaori's last spin. It just got me. That short program is just beautiful.
She'll do that to you.
She will. But fun competition so far. The teams get really into it, and that's nice to see as well. After the men's short program tomorrow evening, the top 5 teams move on to the free skate portions of the team events. We cut down from 10 teams to 5.
Then it gets serious.
That's right. We also had some women's ice hockey. Japan beat France 3-2. That had to be exciting. And same with Switzerland beat Czechia 4-3.
Nice tight games.
Yeah. And now we had the opening ceremony,
which will involve the next 7 hours of your life with lots of dancers and lots of flashing lights.
Flashing lights that you did not get.
I did not get. So Jill was there as a fan in real people's seats.
Yes.
And I was there in the media seats. We did not get a program. We did not get one of the sparkly lights, LED lights, to participate in the light show, which I was extraordinarily disappointed about.
Right, because now the thing is you get a little wristband with a light on it, and they've got it Bluetooth, and so it changes color, it goes off randomly. It's got a great effect.
And it's continuing to glow.
Yeah, mine is continuing to glow right now. It just won't turn off, and it's glowing yellow. So where was so we were at San Siro Stadium, the iconic San Siro Stadium, which is celebrating its 100th anniversary and is also going to be closed.
Thank goodness, because those seats are tiny.
My gosh. My producer Ben would never, ever fit in San Siro.
I barely fit.
Yeah, I barely fit too. Charlotte barely fit. Tiny, close together rows, plastic seats that no arms, and that's fine, but they are a little tiny as well. And of course, you cannot get people in and out without standing up and barely staying upright. And we had people going in and out of our row all the time.
Well, that's the one good thing about being in the press section. When somebody comes and sits, they come and sit and they don't move.
Right. And we did not move. So where we get off the metro right at San Siro, you get out of the metro station. You have to go through a turnstile gate. This is different, a new thing for us. And that will come into play in a moment.
Yes, it will.
So, and then San Siro is right there.
Yes.
So we go in the first place we can go. And where do you go from there?
I went to entrance B.
Okay.
So I didn't have to go very far. And then from there, I went in between number 6 and number 7 tower. So it was actually quite easy for me, shocking, to find the Media Tribune, because all along the way, there are volunteers and several of them have little signs.
Oh.
You know, this way to the Media Tribune, or ask me if you're a journalist. You know, things.
Wow. This is new.
This is amazing. This was the best gift they could have given me. I only made one mistake in my venturing up. I went up the wrong staircase, so I went up 4 flights, had to go down 4 flights, then back across and up 5 flights. But it was really minor inconvenience, because every other spot there was 2 or 3 volunteers who showed me where I needed to be. So I had an incredibly easy time finding my seat.
And you were sitting facing the front. So you saw the rings from the front.
Correct.
You were, below you were the dignitaries.
Yes.
Okay. So Charlotte and I went around to gate E, which is on the side. So we walked around a long way, went up our 4 flights. And this was the second time of the day after hoofing it to figure skating and from figure skating, that I kept saying to myself, you trained for this. You trained for this. Because those stairs were bad. But when we got up, we had this amazing view of the mountains from the balcony outside. Oh, they are spectacular. So that was bonus number 1. We decided to get something to eat, and the line was not bad for the concession. I don't know. And there are several stores, official stores, in and around the complex, all with massive lines.
Yes.
Which was unbelievable. So get in line. At this particular type of concession stand, you got in line and you ordered and paid, and then you had to take your receipt to get the food pickup. And the poor man doing food pickup was a little overwhelmed by beverages, because if you were in Paris, you remember you got a cup. If you ordered any kind of beverage, it usually came in a plastic bottle, and they would open the bottle and pour it into a cup for you, because that was Paris's sustainability model. So here they are pouring beverages into metal cups, which I have put a picture of that on our Facebook group. And I'm excited about the metal cup. It's very cool. It will keep your beverage cold. And by the end of the night, your hand is also cold.
I drank my beverage quite quickly once I realized how cold this metal cup was going to become as we went along.
So there's that. We also had the calzone, which was not very good.
Oh,
it was.
sorry.
We got tomato because we figured that would be safe, and there was not much filling to it. But it was at least something, because we were starving by the time. Yeah, and I have done nothing but be hungry all day today. I cannot get enough food in my body.
That's because you're doing the steps.
Yeah, well, I've trained for that. I have not trained for no eating again already. And I packed a sandwich today. I didn't get that until 4:00, and we eat good breakfast and all that stuff. But oh my gosh,
Just this wasn't your food day.
it was not a good food day. So get the stuff. And so we each got the calzone and a Coke and a water, because we were thirsty. And
Did you get 2 cups each?
yes, we got 2 cups each. What are you going to do? They're not going to give you a bottle. You got to have the cup. So we're trying to balance cups and calzones and people wandering into our row and not. It's not great. So we chit chat with other. So I am on the side. I am if you are 6:00, I am at 9:00.
Okay.
So I cannot see the front of the rings ever. I really wanted them to rotate,
Yes.
but that's okay. That is okay.
Other things rotated.
Yes, that is correct. So the show itself
Started so strong.
Yeah. I would agree on that. And I give it to you got to hand it to Marco Balic and his team. They know how to do a show.
And in many ways, it was an old school throwback. It was dancers and light up costumes and color and pageantry, and not a lot of AI.
Yeah, not a lot of technology, really. The lights on the stage. It was a kind of a swirly spiral stage. Lights made a spiral. The center was round, and there were 4 ramps coming off of it at kind of swoopy angles, and that lit up with like, it wasn't rope lights, but it was a light runner kind of thing.
It was very simple.
Yes.
Not simple, I'm sure, to execute, but in terms of you could have done this show 30 years ago with that technology.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I loved. I was so excited to see kind of this throwback style show, yet it didn't feel dated.
No, it didn't, because there are many, many segments. But I thought about it later, and I thought it was so nice to have a simple set design and simple things to execute, because the complexity of what they had to do was enormous, because they did have 4 different ceremony type places. And there was more in Cortina, but also in Livigno and Predazzo, they had the Parade of Nations.
Yes.
Coordinating all of that was so complex.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, so it was great. They came out and got the rings up pretty quickly.
Very quickly, and how they did it was, again, quite dramatic. They had people inside the rings who then threw themselves out of the rings, suspended from wires in the sky. I gasped, as if they're going to have some suicide as part of their show. The 2 people jump out of the rings into each other's arms. It was so dramatic, and I'm sure much more dramatic in person than on the screen, simply because we could see how incredibly high they were off the ground.
Yes, but the ring theme kind of played through in the set design, because there were rings with the bottom arc cut out to make an arch, and that was the arch that the athletes walked through for the Parade of Nations, and there was one in each location, which I loved that.
Because on the screen, I wonder if at home you could tell, if you weren't paying attention to the little piece in the corner, where you were. Mm-hmm. Because it would tell you you're in Cortina, you're in Livigno, when you saw the parade. Mm-hmm. But if you weren't paying attention, it all looked the same.
Yeah, basically. I mean, the arch thing, some places, I wonder if Predazzo and Livigno had much in the way of spectators, but you could see spectators in Cortina because they had stuff there. It was like a whole little thing that you could go to. It just slipped my mind. But, you know what else I liked? Because they didn't do a whole lot of video content. They did a couple of videos. One I thought would be like, was a commercial break kind of thing. But I'll tell you, San Siro also does not have great jumbotrons.
Very tiny. They're sort of like biggish-trons. They're not very jumbo. They're quite small.
I feel like I'm Americanized in my jumbo-ness.
We needed bigger seats. We needed bigger jumbotrons. We needed more footpaths. We needed more space everywhere.
Right. So much, if you had a ton of video content, it was difficult for the in-house audience to see. So they didn't have much. They had a little thing in the beginning that had somebody famous because people around me cheered. And then they had another segment that segued into a live action portion. We'll get there.
Let's talk about the Parade of Nations.
We got to talk about Mariah Carey. She was before Parade of Nations.
Do we have to talk about
Yes,
Mariah
we do.
Carey?
She was big deal.
So was her hair.
Yeah, she had a lot of hair, big dress, and a big teleprompter.
And a big entourage. She had 4 guys helping her with that dress to get on and off the stage.
Do not blame them. So she sang Volare, and then she sang some kind of song in English, and The only reason I know because I was watching the teleprompter more than her.
And the funny part about the teleprompter that you showed me was it was phonetic.
Yes.
The Italian was written out phonetically, which, honestly, she doesn't speak Italian. She's singing in Italian, even though it's volare, and everybody knows volare.
But volare.
It's
and
true.
you go do.
Do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did well. I thought all of the big name performers were good, except for Geely.
That was a little weird.
That was weird. We'll get to that because he's at the end. But she was like the biggest name to you and me.
Yes.
Up in the front. And then we had the Parade of Nations pretty quickly. Oh, wait, no, we got to talk about the big heads.
I don't want to talk about the big heads because I will have nightmares about those big heads.
So I'm not sure who they were. They were 3 big heads, and I'm assuming they had something to do with art and were big names in Milan. And by big heads, I mean if you watch baseball in the U.S. at all, and you have seen a hot dog race or a pierogi run, or the Washington Nationals had the President's Race, and I think Seattle Mariners have a salmon run kind of thing. They look like those. And they kind of really look like the presidents from the Nationals.
Well, yes, because I think one may have been Verdi. So
okay, yeah.
That's a total guess because it was part of the segment that was about music and art and the idea of Milan being a center of music, art, and dance.
Yes.
Great.
But
then you had giant heads.
Oh, but they were fun. And big tubes of paint were staged on top of the roof, and then they got lowered down, and then stream or fabric came out of them to represent paint, and that was just a cool effect.
So simple and yet so effective.
Yes.
And I think effective on the screen as well.
I hope so.
Because that part of it was really good, and the human music notes trying to dance with these giant clef notes hanging off their shoulders. That was some impressive dancing.
Let me check my program to see what else was here. We got a little program if you were a fan.
You got a little program.
If you were a fan. And it's not huge. It's just a few pages, but it does tell you all the different sections that are going to happen. And then they do have in here a read the complete program after 7 p.m.
Oh,
they had an embargo thing, which I tried to click on and it didn't work.
Yeah.
But they talked about beauty. They talked about fantasia, all of this stuff that relates to armonia, which is a huge theme. Italian flag and national anthem, which was lovely.
Yes. Oh, that was really beautiful. How they had how they honored Giorgio Armani was they had models walk in with these very sharp Armani style suits in red, green, and yellow, and walked in as red, green, and white, and walked in as a human Italian flag.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Laura Parisi sang with as much emotion, I think, as I've ever heard a national anthem be performed.
Yeah.
With the exception of like Whitney Houston and her national anthem. It had that kind of effect. And I don't even know the Italian national anthem.
Don't say that.
Well, I don't know the words.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, you got a whole couple of weeks to learn them.
I'm sure we will.
It was stunning.
Beautiful.
Then we had the City and Mountain. Oh, we found out the song that we're going to be singing for the next 2 weeks. Which is
Milano Cortina. Oh.
Yeah. And you have a little dance that goes with it. And for Milano, you stick up your left arm and then your right arm. And then when you say Cortina, you make your arms into a mountain shape over your head. And then when you sing, you like thump your heart 3 times.
Or if you're the big heads, you have to put the mountain in front of your big face. Because they were, in fact, doing the dance.
So parade of athletes.
Went on forever.
It was long in some aspects. I bet it was better on TV. I wish it would have been a little snappier.
Yes. So the problem was that because you've got this 4-location Parade of Nations, that on the television screen, they would switch to so if a country had athletes in all 4 places, they gave each place as much screen time as you would give one country. So a country, say like Norway, that had athletes everywhere would get the same amount of screen time as 4 different countries.
Right.
So in the stadium, we would just sit there and wait.
Right. And so the other thing was, wherever your flag bearer was, that's who held the flag. So you would have nations parade in Milano with no flag.
Or in other areas
with no flag.
And then sometimes there were nations that didn't parade in Milano because they didn't have any athletes here. So it was just the placard bearer.
Yes.
And announce the country. And then this poor lonely woman would just walk along in her beautiful silver puffer dress.
That was something. It was, okay, so she wore a silver puffer dress with a train.
With a puffer train.
Like wraparound black sunglasses, so you couldn't see her face. And the thing had a hood on it, so you really couldn't see. And then she carried, the plaques looked like they were big blocks of ice.
I hope they weren't heavy.
I don't think they had to be lucite or something light. But they were stunning.
Yes. And dramatic.
Yes.
And even when the teams would walk in, it felt like they were walking so slowly.
Right, because they kind of spiraled around the spiral until they got to where they had to go. So the other problem I ended up having was, for almost every nation, there would be a cheer at the beginning, and then partway through their walk, like, you'd get quiet again.
Because it was so long. You can't possibly cheer for every nation the entire time.
And, well, you could if you're Italy.
Well, that was just one nation the entire time.
And the other problem was because you didn't have a lot of nations in your location, then there'd be like a cheer. Sometimes they would cheer for like the Jamaicans, who were not in Milan, but they were in other places. There were other countries like that as well, where they'd get cheered on the TV screen. We would cheer them on the TV screen, but they weren't there in person.
Right. So most of the time it was, if the athletes were in fact in Milan, the crowd would cheer because they were so happy to see somebody actually walk in. Right.
And if you were a nation in another location, you didn't get a puffer lady. You got your sign on a stick, and somebody in your delegation carried that. So it might have been more helpful if they had done a multi-screen of the other locations.
They needed to move it along more quickly.
So that was tough, because this show was supposed to end at 10:30 and was way after 11 o'clock.
Yes.
When we were out of there. After Parade of Nations, we went through the 100 years of Winter Olympics. Part of that was a video, which was a woman in a dream.
Yes.
And then she appeared in real life right below where I was sitting. So I saw the backstage, and I saw everybody do their costume changes.
I couldn't see much of that because that was sort of to my left and almost behind my shoulder. In a way, it was so far to the left that I could see some of the side of it, but I really watched that on the screen.
Okay. It looked really cute.
Very cute, very good for TV. Don't think it did much for us.
No, it was another segment, that's for sure. Then we had the Italian Gestures, which was only a video. Well, no, somebody came on to the stage to open up an envelope, and the mic, quote unquote, wasn't working. And so she did all these gestures, but you needed to see the video screens because they were teaching you all of the different meanings of Italian gestures, and you needed the video to help you, which didn't have a great effect in the stadium because of the bigatrons.
It was a little silly and could have been easily cut.
Yeah.
That was somebody's pet segment that they didn't want to cut, but it really should have.
We will teach you Italian culture kind of thing. At least they didn't do the history of Italy.
Yes, they talked about focusing on modern Milan, and in many ways that they did a nice job of bringing in the history of the arts and the culture without making it feel like, oh, let's give you the 3,000-year history of the country.
Right. Time for opening speeches.
Yeah.
So the president of the organizing committee, Giovanni Malago, gave a speech which basically said, yeah, we spent a lot of money on this one.
And it's been tough.
Yeah.
But, we wanted to do this. It's very important to us.
It's exciting. Then Kirsty Coventry gave a speech.
Her first one.
Wow.
Knocked it out of the park.
Wow. And she really related to the athletes and said, I know exactly what this is your time. I know what you're feeling like. And it was just so caring and athlete first. And then also hey, the games are about peace and getting along and all of that stuff.
She struck a really nice balance between focusing on the athletes, but projecting a larger message without sounding trite.
Yeah. It was really, really good. And I don't want to knock T-Bach or Jacques Rogue, who were also Olympians, but you really felt it from the heart from her.
I think it's just a different generation, that she's of a generation that is much more willing to put that heart on the sleeve, that you don't have to be stoic, that showing it actually is a strength. And I think that's going to reflect a lot in how she runs her administration.
It'll be interesting to see. But it was very good first
nice
speech.
job.
Yes. Then the flame came through.
The flame came through. Didn't recognize any of the flame bearers, any of the torch bearers. I'm sure they're all big Italian athletes that I did not know. Crowd reacted to most of them.
Yes.
So
that was good.
Yes.
And basically, I applaud this move because what happened in Paris was that the flame came through all on its own and had to get down the entire Seine River and then to the Tuileries where the cauldron was. And it took a long, long time. Now, we were in San Siro. The cauldron is going to be at the Arca della Pace, which is a ways away.
Yes.
So instead of doing it all at once, the flame came through, and then we still had show while the flame made its way to the Arca della Pace.
So what was really funny was, I don't know if this was only in the stadium, but they said to us, say farewell to the flame as it continues on its journey. So they wanted to make sure that everyone knew the flame was not going to be lighting a cauldron. If you didn't realize it, say goodbye, say farewell to the flame as it goes on. So,
but I really liked that use of time. That was a smart move to do that, especially when you're going to have a cauldron that is somewhere else. And then we had the tribute to peace, which this made this the best ceremony ever because they did not play Imagine. Instead,
they played a new song.
But the main gist of it was Charlize Theron came out.
With her teleprompter.
She had a teleprompter too. But that's, whatever. But she gave a message of peace. And I thought it was very interesting that they tapped a South African.
Yes.
Also, same with Kirsty Coventry, also from South Africa. And she gave a little message, and then they projected the image of a dove. And I liked that better than the song.
The song was a little confusing.
Oh, well, I don't remember the song they played tonight, to be quite honest. I just know it. I realized they aren't doing Imagine.
And that's all that mattered. And then all the humans laid down in the shape of a dove, which actually I think is one of the more creative ways that we've done the dove in the past few cycles.
So that A+. And then we had the Olympic flag came out with a lot of flag bearers that, well, actually, I don't think anyone was really Italian related.
The point was they're all ambassadors of peace in some way. All have served their communities, some in very, very large ways, some in smaller ways. But these were all people who made a difference in the idea of peace. Not Italian.
Right. And while the flag went up, Lang Lang played the piano, and Cecilia Bartoli sang the Olympic anthem.
And sang the heck out of the Olympic anthem.
And he played the heck out of it. This is the best version of the Olympic anthem I have ever heard.
It was beautiful. It was moving. It wasn't boring. Because sometimes the Olympic anthem can get very doldrum, you know, very dirge-like.
Yes.
There was no dirge in Lang Lang.
No. There was lots of high hands and flourishes. It was beautiful. It was simple because it didn't have a huge, trumpet fanfare to go with it.
No orchestra.
The children's choir from La Scala was there.
Small choir.
Yes. It was just beautiful.
Some really different touches this time that made a big difference and made it very Italian. You know I love time and place, and this was very Italian. And I would even go so far as to say very Milanese.
Ooh. Going out on that limb.
I am.
No, but it was lovely. And then we had one more segment, which is the Armonia of the Future. And this is a child, of course. They brought on the kids.
Yeah, I could have done without this one.
I could have done without this one either, except for I got the whole light and solar system bit. She's playing with a model of the solar system and reflects on a shared responsibility of caring for the planet.
And an astronaut comes out.
Somehow I missed that.
No, the woman who came out to help her with the model.
Oh, okay. I couldn't see that very well.
Oh, okay. So on the Bigotron, it said that she was actually, I apologize for not remembering her name, but she is an Italian woman who is in fact an astronaut with the European Space Agency.
Oh, that's cool. Because I was kind of looking at the planets, which looked like rings, because they were different colors, like the Olympic rings, and the solar system, and I'm making other connections in my brain to what's going on and not what they intended, but that's okay because I'm bringing my own self to it.
That's
I
okay.
couldn't tell you what that is now because it's late. I'm tired. And then we get to the cauldron. And we have two cauldrons. One is in Cortina, one is in Milano. Oh, we didn't talk about the Parade of... Okay, back to the Parade of Nations.
Okay. I was about to give you a big pat on the back, so let's go back to the Parade of Nations.
Oh, yeah, no, okay. Parade of Nations, a couple of things. Massive cheering for Ukraine, almost all the way around the stadium.
Biggest cheer outside of for Italy.
USA, big cheer at the front. Sounded like booing when they went around the corner.
I can explain that.
Yeah.
They put J.D. Vance on the Bigotron.
Oh.
So the booing was not for the team at all. The booing was if you had a dignitary in the box.
Oh, right.
They show your dignitary when your team comes through. J.D. Vance and his wife were there. They showed them on the Bigotron, and that is when the boos started. When he was off the screen, that is when the boos stopped. It was not for the U.S. team.
Okay, well, that's good because it was a little freaky in the stands because I was really watching the athletes versus the Bigotron because they're big. You don't notice them as much.
The little Otrons.
No, and well, those were in the corners. They had tinier.
Yeah, they had the tiny little ones. It was like my size. I don't know what was happening.
So when they rounded that corner, because I'm watching Aaron Jackson with the flag.
Going to town.
Yes, and I heard the boos, and it was shocking and just really unsettling.
You see, I was not unsettled by it because I saw what
they did.
The booing was at. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, that... They were not booing the athletes.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure some of the athletes did not realize that. And I hope we'll get that information that it was being directed at a representative of the U.S. government that is not terribly popular in Europe right now.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. French team was second to last. U.S. was third to last because Utah is hosting in 2034. Yes. French team was second to last. Of course,
people went wild.
I had some French people behind me who were going to biathlon, so it was like, and then going nuts for Italia.
As
of course,
they should.
Yes, that was lovely. It's always nice to end on the host country.
And the host country was so pumped. Mm-hmm. You know, even though they don't have their whole team there, they have a lot of people in a lot of places because they get entries into everything. But it filled the stadium.
Yes, more so than the crowd filled the stadium because there were a lot of empty seats.
I would say, 2/3 full?
Oh, no. It was more than that. But there were chunks of empty seats. So I would say 85 at the worst.
Okay.
I would put it at that, 85% full. And I bet there's some people who've got FOMO. And you should, Italy, have FOMO for missing this ceremony. You missed out. But okay, we're going to go back to Cauldron
Your pat
lighting.
on the back.
Alberto Tomba!
He was not alone.
No, he was not alone.
But you had said Alberto Tomba was going to light the cauldron, and
he did.
There he was.
When they cut to the cauldron, Enrico Fabrice got the torch.
Yes.
And if you are enjoying the new version of the show, or the theme song that we have, that is the Record de la Pista. Record de la Pista. That is his race from Torino. So that I was very excited. And then, of course, yes, Tombola Bomba. And then Sofia Goggia
lit it in Cortina, which I can't believe we didn't think of her. We were talking about current athletes that we didn't immediately go to Sofia Goggia. But well deserved.
Yes.
All the the cauldron lighters.
Yes, and the cauldron looked kind of cool.
It did. I'm going to reserve judgment until we see it lit in person, because it looked really cool in person. And then on the screen, it looked kind of sad.
Oh, you think? No, I thought because they made it all orange, all those links and concentric circles, everything was orange. So it was a giant, big, fiery orb.
It looked a bit like the Eye of Sauron to me, because it was that orb glow. So I want to see it in person before I am critical of it. That's unfair. It serves many purposes. And the Bigotron, I think, by definition, creates a disappointing appearance.
It does.
In your cauldron.
And, speaking of fire, did you notice what they could do with lights? Because when around the stage in Milan,
yes,
they had lights all around the stage, but they'd flicker them so it looked like the stage was on fire.
Yes.
A little bit. It was beautiful.
With that
what a nice touch.
glow.
Yeah, it was a beautiful touch. But yes, and then fireworks.
No.
Only at the Arco della Pace.
I was so disappointed. Not a single firework. The only thing we got was sparklers coming out of the rings.
Yes,
which
twice,
is not a firework. You need a firework at San Siro. Even just a few little poof off of the stadium. No, we got nothing.
And the Arco, of course, I get it at the Arco della Pace. You've got the cauldron there. But yes, you got to end it. Bam! And
I didn't know the show was over because there was no fireworks.
Well, the lights came on, and then as we're moving out, they said, hey, if you're in the green seats, which we were, why don't you sit for 20 minutes and let the crowd clear out?
So the show ends. It was all beautiful. By that point, I was in fact cold.
I was getting chilly as well.
I was chilly. I actually got colder once we got up and started moving. My teeth started chattering. I think because the blood was finally flowing and my body realized it was very chilly. But we got out super fast. So we were in the first bunches to get to the station.
Okay.
So it was still very full, still very crowded. We had to wait several rounds to go into the station because there was a counter of how many people could be in the station at once. And when it got close, people would start cheering. So is it counted down? And if you got in, you would cheer. And if you didn't get in, you would boo. But I did very well, apparently, because I got home a good, I don't know, hour before you.
Yes, because when we were going down the stairs, and the stairs were really not rickety because they were stone stairs, but there were no railings anywhere. So going down our tier was not fun. And then crowding down the stairs was also not fun. And you couldn't go down the ramps. So there's that. And we're down.
Why couldn't you go down the ramp?
They were blocked off.
I got a ramp.
We did not.
Well, that's why. You got the flashing light, but I got a ramp.
Okay, so, but we had maybe some ingenuity, maybe some Milanese ingenuity, because when we got down to the ground, we went to the left because that was moving a little bit better than going to the right. And not that means anything to anybody, because I don't even know where we were in the grand scheme of things. And then we're crowded up again, and we're waiting to get through like a gated area, big entrance area. And all of a sudden you hear metal moving on concrete, and then the crowd starts to move a little faster, and we follow along, and all of a sudden we're ducking underneath the ramp, under the concrete ramp, so we could get out a hole and into the open area around the stadium. So that is how we got out. We got out of part one. Then the lovely volunteers told us to get out basically the first exit possible. And we get out there and we're like, where's the metro? And what there weren't were any volunteers with signs saying the metro is this way.
Did you not see the guys with the flashing green lights?
What guys with flashing green lights? They were not at my exit.
All along the path to the metro from where I got out, there were people standing with giant poles with flashing green lights on top of them. And if you followed the green lights, you ended up at the metro station.
Well, they should have put those people on the other side of the stadium where they were forcing people to go out, because we get out and we don't know where we are. Oh. And I am also on low battery at this point. So, and I know that I need to have my phone with battery so I can get into and out of the train. So we're walking and we're kind of following people, and we say, looks like we're going this way, and we go down kind of a dark, very potholy street that has, it could have been a side alley kind of thing, because we have like fields on either side of us. And then we get to a main street, and there's police there, and they don't want anybody doing any, don't go here, don't go there. And I'm asking them, where's the metro? And one guy finally is like, go this way. So we keep walking, and we are walking far away. And finally somebody speaks enough English and says, oh, you just go down here and you turn left, and then you turn, the first left. I've got 4,200 steps that count toward tomorrow, because we just kept walking, because the first left was a long ways away. And then the second left was another long ways away. And we are not thrilled, because we are a little worried we're not going to find where we need to go. But I saw the metro. And where the big M was to go in was like a staircase and an escalator blocked off. And there's a giant line to use the elevator. And we're like, is this the only way people are getting into the metro station? This is going to take forever. And then we realized, oh no, there's the other main entrance that we came out of with the turnstile gates. And so we joined that mob, which is on the side of that structure.
Yes.
Huge mob. Somebody has a medical emergency. While we were in the mob, we get into towards the corner to make that U-turn into the turnstile gates, only to see another giant mob that is going straight out. And then I'm going to say German woman start yelling at us that where we were, because we're trying to merge in. And she's like, that's not the cue. The cue goes way back there, because she is now angry that people are pushing her further back in line. And we're just trying to merge, man. So we get to the turnstile gates finally, or close to, and we're going in. Charlotte gets through, and it stops at me.
Because just so people understand, the turnstiles physically stop.
Yes.
You can't go through when the counter has gone to 0.
Right.
You have to then wait several minutes, probably until a train pulls out, because that many people cannot be in the station at any given time, which is, it's much safer for you to be out on the street in the mob.
Right.
Because at least the mob has a place to go.
Yes, sideways.
If there is a need to.
But
this was an awful...
It was tough because
Yeah.
Because when you realize that 450 people are going to get through probably a good 8 turnstiles, I would say, and you want to be one of those 450. So there's a little shoving going on.
Yes.
And
there's no place to go.
No, and I was trying to stick with Charlotte, and I kind of moved a couple people out of the way, and I think they ended up, Charlotte got through. I did not. I said, save yourself. I did say save yourself. These other two, they got in the gate next to me, and I think they turned around and said, haha, we got in. And I don't know, they was not speaking my language, but they turned back and looked, and I was like, I don't know if you're looking at me or not. I don't care, because I am next in line, and I know I will get on a train. That is for sure, which I did. And of course, once you're through the gate, you were running down the stairs. Just anything to get out of there and keep moving and not have a crowd behind you.
Yeah.
It was rough.
I am never going to a European soccer game.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's what this functioned as. I mean, it's a soccer stadium.
Yes.
And this is how they run it, which was fine. There was
Right.
nothing.
And
it's crowd control. I
Yes.
get it, but no.
Can you
thank
imagine what happened to get to that crowd control process?
People died is what happened.
Oh my gosh. But the cauldron's lit.
And we're still alive.
And we are still alive, yes.
Barely awake, but we're still alive.
Yeah, I know. But great opening ceremony.
Good
That
job.
is for sure.
Good job,
Good
Milan.
job, Milan. I am excited. So we've got some shout outs today.
Our first shout out today is Pat Noon from College Park, Maryland. Pat writes, I always listen on my morning walks during the Olympics and often laugh out loud at your stories. Keep the magical hour of vacuuming alive. We'll have to just bring a vacuuming.
Well, we have a vacuum in
great.
Shuklistown House.
I'll just turn it on when we're finished.
Yeah, because I've seen sweepers. I've not seen any vacuuming yet. And the hard thing is we are usually not around the press center during prime vacuuming hours, I'm sure. Pat, there are a lot of Pats who are Olympians, but there is a Poppy Noon from Australia who competed at the 2024 Winter Youth Olympics in 3-on-3 ice hockey.
And our next shout out is to Erica Corwin of Lincoln, Nebraska. For each Olympics, she organizes a crafting competition that runs from the opening ceremony to the closing ceremony. And I think we've seen some of these little crafts created by Erica.
We have been the beneficiary of some lovely keychains. And crafters, craft on. Your cauldron has been lit too. Want to see what you make this year. And we also got pot holders. Because I see them.
I love that pot holder
that
I have.
I see them every day. They're right up displayed prominently on my counter. They make me happy. So thank you, Erica. There are no Corwin Olympians, but there is an Erica competing here in Milano Cortina, and that is Erica. Sorry, Manu. I'm really sorry. Piikalainen. Erica Piikalainen from Finland, who is going to compete in alpine skiing. That's Erica with a K, so same church, different pew, but that's still cheerable, I think, for an Erica.
I think so.
All right, and we've got mascots.
We've got mascots today. So our mascots for the day are Sunny and Sadie, our favorite guinea pigs. They have served as our mascots in previous Olympics, so we're glad to have them back. They like to hang out with the Frege when they're watching the Olympics.
Do love good guinea pig. These are our favorite guinea pigs until our next guinea pig mascot.
That's right.
I will say that, Don, you got competition this year. So Thank you so much, and that's going to do it for this episode. If you want even more of the most fun coverage of the games, we have options.
Yes, you can join our Facebook group, Keep the Flame Alive Podcast, and it is hopping. Everybody's
Yes.
getting in on
Oh,
that, so
so
please
exciting.
jump on there. You can get our Substack newsletter, flamealivepod.substack.com. We are on Insta, X, Facebook, and YouTube at Flame Alive Pod, and you can get on our Patreon as well and get some bonus content, flamealivepod.com/support.
And we do love hearing from you as well. You can hit us up on our social channels, hang out in the Facebook group because we are there too. You can email us at flamealivepod@gmail.com. Send us a voice memo or call our voicemail line at +1 208 flame it. That's 208-352-6348. We may read your note or play your voicemail on the show. And it's 2:56 in the morning. We'll be back tomorrow
Or in a few hours,
Yes.
apparently.
with Day 1 action from Milano Cortina 2026. Grazie mille por l'ascolto.
And until next time, ciao, and keep the flame alive.